big changes could be coming to a beer can near you. Let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Josh here, Half-Ass Beer Review, and tonight we're having a little beer talk. More of a beverage talk, more of the product around our beverage, to be precise. Now, there is a man, 31-year-old, self-taught inventor, goes by the name of James Vyse. James is claiming to have created the first ever commercially viable self-cooling beer can. Like, I didn't even know that was achievable. It was never in the realm of even a thought for me. Man, I wish this can could cool itself. No matter how many times I've had a beer blow up in the freezer, no matter how many times I keep checking on a beer wrapped in a cold paper towel, seeing if it's cold enough for me to drink yet, it's never been like, man, I wish this thing could cool itself. Now, James is calling this the cool can. Now, this isn't a cool can. This is a can of hop tea, sparkling hop tea from Hoplark. Shout out Fanboy Tone, who got this for me as a gift for helping him plan his Disney trip. It was actually a variety pack. There's 4 different kinds. The chamomile one is actually my least favorite, but there's no caffeine, and I got to go to bed soon. I just need this to demonstrate and wet the whistle when I get dry mouth. But anyway, James is calling this the cool can. How does it work? Well, let's figure this one out. So it's going to be actually a double-walled can. There's going to be a little space between the 2 cans, which means there's a smaller can in the middle. Now, what does that mean? Right off the bat, that's a strike, because that is less product that I'm getting to drink, right? Because it's going to take up more space. Now, inside the walls, there's going to be like a coolant chemical of sorts. And on the bottom, there's a compartment with a little button. Now, what does this button do? We don't know. Just kidding. We totally know. So there's going to be this button on the bottom of the can. You're going to hit the button. It's going to release water into the compartment that's going to react with the coolant chemical, causing your beverage to cool within 2 minutes. Again, I've read this article on Newsweek several times, and I'm still struggling, grasping what's going on in this world. I could sit down with James and he could explain everything, just lay it out for me, and I'd still be like, well, this is still kind of confusing. A lot of information can be very overwhelming. I get the basic idea of it, and I'm really excited about it, but yeah, there's a lot of knowledge here. Now, you and I are thinking the same exact thing. We got 2 cans in one. We got this coolant. We got this button on the bottom. That's a lot more to go into this beer to make it self-cool. That's got to be pricey. Well, we are wrong.
Price is wrong, bitch.
According to James, James just says it's a few cents extra to make the cool can as it would be to make the normal can. But here's the thing. Corporate America, they think a little differently about this kind of stuff. And capitalism is living proof. And we, as consumers, well, guess what? We love convenience. Anything that's convenience, we will eat right up. And anytime corporations have an opportunity to charge us a little bit for convenience, we get charged a lot more for that convenience. And let me tell you, the big dogs are barking. Coca-Cola, Red Bull, AB InBev, Molson Coors, Carlsberg, and Heineken are all contacting James about his new invention. They are very interested and they want it. So much so that the trials begin this summer in London, and they are expected to be in mass production by 2027. That's 2 years that we're going to have these cool cans, these self-cooling cans available for purchase. Now, it's probably going to be select markets at first, probably bigger markets, so I'd have to drive to Detroit to even see it. But it's really cool idea that this is really going to happen. Like, most likely, we're going to see these things. Cool fact about this is the cool cans are going to be fully recyclable. And as we know, we are perfect at recycling all of our aluminum cans. We never put them where they don't go. We never throw them in the trash or out the window of a moving car into a ditch where a man riding a bike, due to too many DUIs, picks it up for a dime or a nickel or nothing, whatever your state decides. And a very cool fact that I learned in this article is that refrigeration accounts for 17% of global energy consumption. That's a lot. Now, will the cool can have an effect on that? Will it bring it down? Maybe, possibly. We got, again, the double can, the coolant in the middle. Who knows what make that up, or what we have to mine in order to get that in the can. And then you have the button on the bottom. These are all things that could negatively impact the green alternative possibilities. And now I am so sorry for using the term green alternative. Again, I do not have a thesaurus around me, and this is definitely a high school education production. And a lot of this is going to be based off of companies kind of being all in on this product, which right now they are, and that's very cool. But let's talk about what could be the death of this product. Now, sorry, I gotta wet my whistle here. Finally. Oh, okay, that's pretty damn good. So what could be this product killer? Now, when you go into a store in 2 years, 3 years, whenever they're rolling this out, you're not going to just see cool cans in the store. No, corporations like AB InBev, for instance, let's take Bud Light. Say you're going into the store for your Bud Light. You just watch the Shane Gillis commercial and you're all in on Bud Light. You're back on the saddle, right? So you go in the warm part of the store, they're going to have this really cool can of Bud Light that's warm right now, but you got to hit the button and in 2 minutes it's ready to go. Quick side note, I really want to be there when the first college kid attempts to shotgun one of these cool cans with that coolant being in the middle. They're going to know. They're going to know it's a bad idea, but guess what? They're going to do it anyway. And I want to see them turn into red mist when they do it. But anyway, you're going to have the cool cans in the warm part of the store that you can buy for a convenience cost. It's going to be a higher cost. It will be, and there might be even less product in these cans than there are in the other cans. Or you can go into the refrigeration section and you can get the old school cans that are ready to go. A little thigh cooler for the ride home, if you will. Again, I do not condone drinking and driving, but I know I can't stop people from doing it, and that's just a really cool term, a thigh cooler. I could call it a crotch cooler, but some people are turned off by the term crotch like they are turned off by the term green alternative energy. So I just looped them in the same category, and I said it both, and we can all deal with it together. Now, when the honeymoon phase, when the wow phase wears off of the self-cooling can, we're going to go back to the old school cans in the cooler that are ready to go. Because why pay more for less when we can pay the same for that? And also, I see these companies see this as a really cool idea, and if they don't jump on it, other people are, and they're going to make the money off of it. So what they're going to do is they're going to invest in this product. They're going to make a bunch of money short term, and then they're going to bury it and just put it away, because that's the market they're going to create. They're going to create the money off of it short term so they can make extra money, and then they're going to go back to the way that that's already working. It's already working perfectly for them. So James is going to make a bunch of money off the initial investment. They're going to make a bunch of money off of us because we love convenience and new tech and all that stuff. And self-cooling, that's as cool as it gets. I'm going to love hitting that button on the bottom of the can and drinking my first self-cooling beer. And I'm also going to love calling that 1-800 number when a national lawyer's firm is saying, do you have cancer because you drank some of that self-cooling beer and some of the self-coolant leaked into the beer and you drank it and now you have cancer? Call this number for a class action lawsuit with everybody else in this country. That's all I got for this. I want to know what you think down in the comments. Self-cooling beer, I think it's really cool. I think I don't know why you would hate on this, right? Unless it's, the only reason I see us hating it is just because it's going to be too much money. But that is going to do it for this episode of Half-Ass Beer Review. Thank you all for stopping by for another beer talk with me. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you had a good time. Before you go, please check out my good friends in Banter and Babble for the best pop culture wrap-up. Let's Set the Tone. A lot of The World According to Tone, where he checks out action figures, collectibles, and all that stuff. My good friend Dryas and the Dungeon Master over at 7 Dungeons. He does his own homebrew Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That means he thinks of all that stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff that, he might get help with, but that's all coming from his mind, and it's very cool. Also, my friends Truth Beer Podsequences for the best Cincinnati podcast wrap-up podcast. They take in all the content of the Cincinnati beer area, Ohio beer sometimes too, and they let you know what happened with it, and it's great. A lot of bantering to go into that as well, so check them out. The links are down there. And always remember to please keep your fridges full and have a great night.